I don't really. I should probably start like buying DVDs of movies and stuff, like ones that I haven't seen, because you know I would like to, and I would like to have it on like a reliable sort of medium.
like something where you could always go to it.
Yeah, and I don't have to worry about like my internet connection.
Do you have a bad internet connection?
No, but sometimes it gets glitchy and like the quality gets bad, and
Or
sometimes it
sometimes,
keeps loading or the power will go out, or I don't know.
yeah, I had that when I was watching The Shining last night. Like, for some reason, I came back into my. I paused it for a second to go, like, get something you don't remember, and then I came back in here, and it was fucking, like, it was on a different page. I had to, like, reload from the entire, like, the middle of the movie, and that movie's, like, 2 hours long, so. It was hard to find my place. It really took me out of the movie, but I'd still rather do that than, like, put in a DVD. Because can your PS3 and PS4 play DVDs or just Blu-rays?
Yeah,
They can play DVDs? Okay.
and CDs.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So you don't need a CD player or a DVD player or any of that shit.
yeah.
God, this
And
spider
then,
is...
and then the PS4 isn't backwards compatible.
What the fuck is that about?
I don't know. They don't like money, I guess.
So these Skulltulas do still, like, have, like, the skulls on their back. It's just, like, they look more sleek.
Menacing.
No, I think they look less menacing like this. They look more like spiders than they did in Ocarina of Time, where they were just like big skulls with like spider legs sticking out. Oh, he followed you down there.
I think this is a different one.
I didn't
cool.
mean to like not talk about the game for like 20 minutes. I just
It doesn't matter. I'm at a very boring point, and I would prefer that we didn't talk about the game, actually.
there's not a lot to say right here.
Yeah, I think it makes for better commentary in this situation to not talk about the game.
Epic Terminator talk. What did you
Epic win.
What did you think of the awesomeness and geekdom? I mean, of The Shining.
I think it was kind of, I don't know. It wasn't great.
When did you see it?
Sort of recently. I remembered it being good, but then I watched it again and I was like, I don't know. This is like kind of hokey and like badly written.
Where do you think it was badly written at? Because I actually don't entirely disagree, but like, what do you think was written badly?
I don't remember anymore, but like I don't like Stephen King. I think he's good with coming up with ideas, but I don't think he's good at writing them down.
Well, that movie was like not written by Stephen King. That was all Stanley Kubrick's writing. It completely changed Stephen King's story, actually.
Oh.
Stephen King's story was a lot different than what the movie was. In the story, there was a lot more, like, you know how you don't really see ghosts in The Shining till, like, pretty much the very end, except for when you see the dead twins in, like, the first 30 minutes?
Yeah.
There's, like... And then there's the big thing of blood that goes down the hallway that never actually hits anybody, so I don't know what that was about, but...
I think it's a hallucination.
Yeah, but, well, it is in the beginning, but then, like, the mother, walks down the hallway and sees it coming right at her, and she's like, "Eh!" And then it just... and then it just cuts to her, like, being somewhere else. But... there was actually, like, a lot more ghosts and stuff, and the character Jack Torrance, his name wasn't even Jack in the book, it was John Torrance.
In the movie, I'm pretty sure it's John.
No,
like,
it's
quote, Jack. Like it's John Jack Daniel Torrance.
No, it's just Jack. I just watched it last night.
Okay, maybe. I don't know what I'm thinking of then.
It's just Jack, yeah.
Because I've never read the book. I wouldn't be like more familiar with the book or anything.
I never read the book either, but I watched Stephen King talk about what the differences in great detail from his novel and the movie, and I also have watched a made-for-TV version of The Shining that was actually based on the book directly. And I still think that The Shining Stanley Kubrick's version is better just as a movie. But
I've seen that made-for-TV one.
oh, really?
Yeah, but it was a very long time ago.
Yeah, it was a very long time ago for me as well. But I remember, like, there was a lot more ghosts and stuff. Like, there's haunting going on, like, the entire fucking book. Like, it's all about the hauntings, and the character, Jack Torrance, isn't, like, an inherently bad guy like he is in the movie. He's actually a good guy who's trying really hard to not keep drinking, and I don't think he ever beat his son before the influence of the demons in the hotel. But he's not a bad guy in the novel. He becomes a bad guy because of the spirits in the hotel. Where, like, in the movie, he's just he's already a bad guy who becomes an even worse guy with the influence of whatever, if they're demons or ghosts, or if it's supposed to be hell. I mean, all it's not clear in the movie, but in the book, Stephen King said that the Lakeview or Overlook, it's Overlook Hotel, Lakeview Silent Hill, actually is like a representation of hell.
Oh, okay.
And at the end of the movie, you know how all that happens is eventually Jack Nicholson freezes to death. Danny! Danny boy, I'm coming! I'm coming,
Urge
Danny!
to kill, rising. Urge to kill, fading.
Freezing, dying. And he just freezes to death, and then Danny and the mother just drive away. Well, in the book, the hotel ends up fucking exploding because of the faulty boiler or something.
Oh, like Chernobyl.
Yeah, like a way different ending. I don't remember if John, Jack, whatever you want to call him. I don't remember if he survives in the book, but but the way I think it was badly written is because there's parts like at the beginning of the oh shit. That Deku Baba is red. But at the beginning of the movie, when the guy who owns the hotel is telling Jack Nicholson, like, now, there's a guy, Charles Grady, who killed his family, chopped him up with an axe. Well, when you see the ghost of Charles Grady, he calls himself Delbert.
In the movie?
Yeah, in the movie. In the movie, he says Charles at the beginning, and then later his name becomes Delbert, but it's supposed to be the same character.
That's weird.
And, like, was it an oversight? You know, it's not clear. And then, you know how in the middle of the movie they're like, you know, you've always been here, Mr. Torrance. Mm-hmm. And then it showed...
He hasn't been there the whole time. That's a mistake.
Then it shows at the end, you know, there's the picture dated 1921, and right prominently at the front is Jack Nicholson's smiling face.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
He's always been there.
But yeah, is it supposed to be that he was a ghost in limbo, or was this all a hallucination? Like, why wouldn't anyone realize that a guy named Jack Torrance, who looks exactly like the guy in the 1921 picture, like, nobody noticed? Like, hey, you look exactly like the guy that used to own the hotel.
The way I interpreted it was, like, he was eaten by the hotel. Like
absorbed?
Yeah, and then, like, they put him back into the past. Like, sort of like, I don't know, like, he became one of the ghosts.
But was he not in the first place?
No, I didn't think so.
Because that's where it stopped making sense. Like, you've always been here, so was it actually he hadn't always been there, and the ghosts just say that to him, and then because it's all supernatural, they change the past and the present to make it where he had always been there?
That makes it sound like, you know, your first thing where, like, they would have known.
Exactly.
So, I don't know.
So that's I don't think that the ending makes any sense, but I think it's supposed to not make any sense.
Actually, you know what? I think maybe, like, the thing is, like, it's, like, all in a bubble. And, like, now, whenever someone is, like, taken by the hotel, they, like, go back into this, like, fake history. And, like, they're all there, and they're all trapped there. Like, that's what the whole party was.
Yeah, I agree with you there that the party was everyone trapped there, but like, does the role of the caretaker, is it whoever becomes the caretaker becomes absorbed by the hotel? Because
I don't know.
because Charles or Delbert, whatever Grady, was the original caretaker, and the whole thing was they're up there, and they just classified it as he had like really bad cabin fever, being stuck in there like during the harsh winter of Denver or wherever they were, and
Denver, Colorado.
and they couldn't fucking escape, so he just went. They classified it as he went nuts, killed his family, and shot himself. Well, then Jack becomes the caretaker. Nobody recognizes him as the previous owner of the hotel or anything. Because it couldn't possibly have been, because it was like he couldn't have been like a 40-year-old man in 1980 if he was like a 40-year-old man in 1921. But then he becomes the caretaker and attempts to kill his family, but doesn't, and he just freezes to death. But then he was always there. I mean, it doesn't make any fucking sense. What?
Yeah, I guess it wasn't supposed to.
I don't like that, though. I don't like that it doesn't make any fucking sense. You could just say, like, it was supernatural, and then, like, just drop it after that. But that's what I used to do. Just like, oh, he was a ghost. But then when I thought more about it, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, maybe we're just, like, not considering something, but as it is, it doesn't really make any sense to me either.
The only other thing I can think of was that he was a reincarnation of the previous owner, and, like, they had the same soul or something.
I don't know.
But that's like, I hope that's not it, because that sounds lame. Like,
I guess we're never gonna know, though, because, like, Stanley Kubrick is dead, and he's, like, he probably didn't tell any of the people. Apparently he's, like, really shitty to all the people, especially Shelley Duvall.
oh, really? I didn't know that.
Like, he was an asshole to her. I guess, like, I think it was because of, like, he wanted her real emotions in the movie.
Nobody even said roll
There's
video.
no desperation. Oh, come on. What do you mean roll
2
video?
seconds.
We're fucking killing ourselves out here, and you're going to be ready.
I am too. I'm standing
Should we
right
play
by
mood
the
music?
door. No, I
Yeah,
can't
but when
hear.
you came in like this, you should have just get a
We're
little
sitting
look
there because
desperate.
they say, wait
Yeah,
a minute,
okay.
and then you say
Yeah,
on the radio,
but when you
go.
do it, you've got to look desperate, Shelley. You're just wasting everybody's time
I
there.
can't even get
Well,
this
push it
door
against
open.
it.
You
Well-
have- On the record, I got such a bollocking because they said, turn over, and they said, video rolling and all that, and I got all ready, jump up and down, and then they said, never mind, cut it. And then I went to take a bite of soup. The next thing I know, action, Shelley. So, if it hadn't been for that, volley of ideas and sometimes butting of heads together, it wouldn't have come out as good as it did. And it also helps get the emotion up and the concentration up, because it builds up anger, actually, and you get more out of yourself. And he knew that, and he knew he was getting more out of me by doing that. So it was sort of like a game.
Well, I
don't know.
I do think she gave, like, a lot of people criticize her performance. I actually really liked her performance.
Yeah, it's like, she's weird looking, and, like, that adds to it, I think.
I also think she's, like, her incredibly weird appearance, like, makes her more memorable. Like, she's, like, kind of creepy, Although her character isn't creepy at all, but she looks creepy. Oh, you're actually gonna leave him the money?
Yeah, because otherwise he'll attack me, and it's just so annoying.
But when she, like, all her screaming, like, everyone's like, that's, yeah, I'm scared! And yeah, it is, like, it is ridiculous, but I actually believe her in that. That's one of the only, like, screaming chicks in a horror movie where I actually believe that character feels like they're terrified and about to die.